Hey everyone, welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. My name is Frankie, and I'm here with the Inspector Who Reacts, and we're going to talk about latest episode of Ahsoka, episode 7, part 7.
Yeah.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah, good title for it.
This one was more of an action-packed and pretty simple episode, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Still good.
Yeah.
It's like one of those where I don't really have a lot to talk about
Mm-hmm.
because, in a weird way, it's kind of weird that the finale's next week, and I don't really feel like we were left on a cliffhanger. To like, what was the like? I feel like the next episode is the cliffhanger, and that's gonna be the end of the show.
Yeah, the way the way it's going, I'm wondering if the cliffhanger is going to be his arrival in the Star Wars galaxy that we know, and what's going to ensue afterwards.
And what if Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka are stuck on this planet in this galaxy? Like, they don't get away.
There is a chance for that. I guess.
Maybe they have to deal with a threat here, so they don't ever go back. Like, there's a new Star Wars galaxy war going, and these are the heroes that deal with it. Whereas the New Republic has to deal with Thrawn, and that's with Luke, Han, and Leia on that side. Which means Luke, if Shin gets back, Luke could fight Shin.
That's a possibility.
Maybe Shin's the new Mara Jade.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, like, let's say hypothetically you're right, like, and Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, they're left behind. Like, this could lead the way for different things, like maybe another series, maybe something with the movie, maybe a new comic book series, maybe a series of novels. Like, there's a lot they could do with it, if that happens.
Yeah, because I feel like Ahsoka, she's gonna, like, or this crew, they're torn between Thrawn, which by the end of the show, it seems like they don't have time to stop him now. Like, they've lost that chance. And Balon. Like, they have to go after Balon or Thrawn. It's one of those two. And I feel like they're going to have to choose Balon because he's the closer threat.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they split up. Maybe Ahsoka stays and Sabine and Ezra escape with Thrawn. And she has to stay behind.
They're not going to do that again. I feel like they're not going to risk splitting up again.
Maybe.
Because then it's going to be a whole other wild thing.
Now we have to go back to get Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then we leave somebody behind. Now we have to go back to get them. And we have to leave somebody behind. It's like, this planet is cursed.
Yes.
But I honestly, this was, it was a really fun, or it was a really good action-packed episode. With actually a lot of, like, some humorous moments, especially like Sabine and Ezra's chat.
Yeah.
That moment was like, oh, I became Ahsoka's apprentice, and he's like, really, you? I mean,
I love
awesome.
like, that was everybody's reaction. Like, I felt like his reaction was our reaction. Like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her reaction too was like, whoa, like, keep going, keep talking, like, dig yourself deeper. I love that so much.
Yeah,
that moment really solidified. I could see Ezra and Sabine in live action. Like, it's one of those things where it's still, like, new to me, but that moment kind of sealed it for me, that I can see them as the cartoon characters they were. Yeah, it was a nice moment. And what else was there? There was another thing. Oh, yeah, so we did get a little bit more of Hera's side of the story.
Yeah, I love the beginning. She's trying to get herself out of trouble, obviously.
Yeah, she's dealing with some judgmental senators.
Yeah, Senator Ziono's not letting it go. He wants her, court-martialed or whatever. Like, he demands
punishment.
Yeah. He was having none of it. But then we get a surprise. All of a sudden we hear a droid in the background. I don't need to show identification.
Yep, we. You don't need to see C3 was trying to do like the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
You don't need to see my identification. But yeah, we got 3PO,
Mm-hmm.
which was honestly a very nice cameo. Which it's one of those weird things where this cameo didn't feel out of place. Like this felt natural,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it also it's one of those things where I feel like they're not ready to bring us a de-aged Leia yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're bringing C3PO as that kind of slow build to her because they still bring up Leia.
Yeah.
She basically sent him,
Mm-hmm.
but she's got her own thing to do right now,
Yeah.
which is nice. Again, it's nice reference to Leia, and we get to see more. Like C3PO was nice. He felt I don't know something about him just felt very nice to see him chatting.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I love that Leia took it upon herself to protect Hera and
yeah,
her mission. Um,
I love that. At the end was like, hey, like Leia did not prove this mission, and Hera's like, yeah, she did eventually.
Yeah, so I don't know how word got back to her. Like I don't know how that all worked, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool,
Yeah.
Um,
And okay, it's a tiny little thing, but I just found it funny how it feels like. I mean, this is probably just a judge room or something, but I was kind of feeling like, this is one of those things where I feel like this would have been in the Senate room, like a big
mhm.
giant senator room or something. But I guess it was just a small little work day, so it's like we're just gonna do it in the small judge room right now, not the big senator office with all the like what we saw in the prequels.
Yeah, this was a little less intimidating.
Yeah. And also, it was like, are we gonna take like like fact evidence or something from a droid? And Chopper's like, I'm gonna. Chopper gets like, don't start swearing,
Yeah.
and we get a Mandalorian mention. So this is like after season 3,
Yeah, I like how they kind of put that in there to give us a better idea of where
where
we're
we're on the
at.
timeline of something,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Mhm.
And which is it's always funny how I know that this show takes like we're watching the show after Mandalorian season 3, but it just feels weird or it feels nice knowing that this chronologically takes place after Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, there's been 2 years and all that
Mhm.
after Mandalorian season 2 is Ahsoka's first appearance in live action, and yeah, that was a really nice scene in the beginning,
Mhm.
and it also feels cool seeing Mon Mothma like as trying to be a leader, even
Yeah.
though like she's struggling with this leadership
Mhm.
because she doesn't want to be imposing. She doesn't want to be she doesn't want to be Palpatine. She doesn't want to be seen as like the new Palpatine or something.
Yeah, it
But
is a
she's also it's like she's that passive or not I don't know if it's passivism but more like it seems like she doesn't want to be controlling but she is not holding the control. It's
mhm.
kind of hard to it's like they don't have the threat so it's like
Yeah.
which Thrawn will be for that they need to unite or something.
Mhm. Yeah, like my Mothma seems like she's maybe the only one who's really concerned about this threat. Um,
Mhm.
like as in terms of like the other senators, as far as we know, aren't don't really believe that this is an imminent threat.
Mhm.
But she's taking it seriously. She asked
Yeah.
Hera like, okay, what's going on? How soon? Like, um, so
Yeah, and yeah, it's like we need to be ready for Thrawn, which they still need to be ready for it, even
mhm.
though uh, he's not here or there's no like big threat. They still need to have something ready to because it's because Thrawn is right now is one ship. Even though there is the remnant out there that are waiting for him,
Yeah.
which I'm now very curious how the Empire or at least Pelion, how they know that Thrawn is alive and coming back or something? Like,
Mhm.
do they have like a Night Sister with them or like what is this? information they get? Like, how do they are they aware of Thrawn even existing or something like that, or Thrawn's return?
Yeah.
I'm curious about where where the phones are in this
Mm-hmm.
um in the Remnant,
Oh, through
because
Morgan.
Morgan, yeah, but Morgan was in prison, so I guess this could have been, yeah, this probably could have been before. So yeah, I guess they would have that knowledge. They just didn't have like the connection anymore once Morgan was captured. So yeah, I can see that. That's probably it. But what was it? But yeah, so Thrawn. So even if Thrawn is one ship, he's gonna have his remnant ready for him once he returns,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna be rough. And I actually had I may have met. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I was like, what if like Thrawn comes back, but there's like another threat that comes back as well, whatever Balon is brings out or
Mm-hmm.
something. And when he does that, um, Thrawn, like the remnant, the Imperial remnant, and the New Republic have to work together.
Yeah.
Like they have to unite to defeat this greater evil, whether it's like the Vong or something else.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, because they work together, they create a treaty to where they have their side of the galaxy and the Republic can have its side of the galaxy. And that's kind of probably how the First Order has its galaxy,
Mm.
has its how it can exist. Sort of like so how it builds its little empire and whatever,
Origin
like
story.
the politics of the First Order, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's a possibility.
So that could explain it, because we are getting hints of that. We have like Hux and Starkiller Base and the Praetorian Guards and Snoke stuff. So we have hints of the First Order being made. It's just how they exist. This could explain it with Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
where he sets up like a treaty or a peace treaty or something.
Right.
Potentially. Also, Hu Yang was great in this episode.
Yeah, he was fun. He's always funny. I love David Tennant. He does him so
Yeah,
well.
and what was you this is not a great plan. It's like, I told you several times the chances are impossible. And it's just like, yeah, you just gotta go on faith. And he's like, no faith, chance. Like, we're gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah, so him and Ahsoka finally arrive in this other
They arrive with the whales.
yeah. And
Immediately get attacked.
right, they're all these like I forget what they call them. But like
Minefield or something.
yeah. Just going off everywhere. And I was so afraid that the whales were gonna die. Yeah, that was
They're
more
tough.
concerned about them.
They're tough boys.
Yeah.
But they got out of there. They're like, nope, I'm out of this.
Yeah, they took off hyperspace and leaving no cover for them. And eventually they make it through and they go into hiding for a little bit.
They hide in the debris field.
Yeah.
It's cool to see like more up close and kind of see that. I like seeing just again like the weird details of how science fiction stuff, like how like this bone field becomes like the ring around this planet.
Right.
What that looks like, because like we have our planet with the ring, like Saturn. It's just a bunch of tiny rocks, but it looks like a big giant disc. So seeing something like that in Star Wars, same thing like Geonosis, like how we had that whole asteroid field around it, and we had that whole battle sequence with Jango and Obi-Wan. So it was cool to get that in Ahsoka here. And then they had to hide, kind of just like Han and Obi-Wan had to hide in there for a moment.
And they use that time. Well, Hu Yang tries to find Sabine through the ship, like try to detect her or whatever. Couldn't pick up on her. So Ahsoka was like, oh, I'll try reaching out through the Force. And Hu Yang was skeptical. I was kind of skeptical, but sure enough, Ahsoka was able to connect through the Force to Sabine, and Sabine sensed it, and she was like, I just have a feeling. And And Ahsoka was able to figure out where she was. So.
At the same time, Thrawn finds out where Ahsoka is.
Yep.
And they start their attack again.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that. So Thrawn eventually learns who Ahsoka's master was, which was Anakin.
Yeah.
And because of that, he learns that Ahsoka is not a traditional Jedi. So he's going to have to play by a little bit of different rules or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like his plan is Ahsoka. He knows that Ahsoka has like one of two places she can go. She can either come to him, try and find him, and take him out, or go and find Sabine and Ezra. So if she goes to Sabine and Ezra, then he doesn't have to worry about her getting back to him, sort of thing. Like he knows where she's gonna go. Basically. He's got that in mind. And yeah, I'm really liking how Thrawn is thinking in this.
Yeah.
He's classic Thrawn,
Mm-hmm.
playing his good old chess game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very strategic.
He doesn't once he realizes that it's wasteful to sacrifice ships, he's like, nope. Okay, pull out.
Yeah.
You guys don't need to die.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have, and then after that we have Shin and Balon and their bandit group find the mobile home turtles.
Yeah.
I like their little they remind me of like little RV or campers, like those bunch of those little things. And I like how they're built too. They're kind of just like turtles. Like they kind of just armor up and wait out the storm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like their plan. And
Gypsy
Nodi? That's what they're called again?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have a battle with that group. That group battling Ahsoka and Ezra.
Well, at first I thought it was interesting that Balin left Shin.
Yeah, Balon and Shin have separated apparently. Like, it's interesting because the whole time earlier he's been like telling her, "I built you up. We're gonna do this together," or something. And now he's like, "Okay, now you're on your own." It's like, she's like, "What? Is there nothing left to teach me, or what's this? Am I being promoted? Am I being let go? What's going on?"
Yeah, I don't know if this was like, okay, like this is your test. This is like, almost like with the Jedi, like this is your test to becoming a Jedi Knight or something, or if it was like he sensed Ahsoka coming and he was like he had his own mission he had to complete. Like I don't know what his intention was, or if he's going to go off and he's been talking about this whole other thing going on, this whole other power. He's got his own agenda. I don't know where he was coming from with that, but I just thought that was weird that he just kind of like abandoned her.
Yeah, but he did say like once Ezra and whatever happened with him were dealt with, he said like go back with Thrawn and go help the new Empire or something, while I go deal with what I came here to deal with. Which we still don't know what that is. That's gonna be the finale.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, so Shin goes into battle, and we have a short skirmish with the group. Yeah, it's like they're past. It's like there aren't fighters. Like Sabine's like, really? Come on, they have to defend themselves. It's like they never had to. It's like Ezra, come on. I do like that they try. They do actually like throw rocks and pans, and so they're not like completely helpless. They just don't have the means to fight. They have slingshots, which I think was kind of a cool.
Yeah.
I think Ezra may have taught them how to use slingshots because he used to have one.
Oh, that's maybe.
But yeah, one of the ships, one of their little campers goes down. They have to like circle up and kind of do like what some herd animals will do, where they'll circle around the young and protect him with the outside ring or something like that. and so they all bunkered in, and Ezra and Sabine get ready to take on the group. And Ezra doesn't want his lightsaber.
It could,
Which,
he's probably gotten so used to fighting without it
yeah,
that he's out of practice. It would probably hinder him more.
yeah.
But yes, Sabine
Wait,
was like, "Yeah, I'm done. You're the Jedi. You take it." And
like,
he's like, "No, no, the Force is on my side."
which I like that. I kind of
Yeah.
like that he's one of those I'm a Jedi. I don't need the saber. I mean, at the same time, I'm like, Ezra, you could at least use the saber. In fact, I was kind of wondering, like, Ezra, take the saber so you can block these lasers back at the group. Like,
Yeah.
help out. Sabine shoots, you can block. But yeah, it's kind of cool seeing Ezra be like more of like a monk Jedi in a way. He's fighting physically without the saber, but still using the Force. Kind of like this mage sorcerer, which is really cool, very different. And yeah, Sabine keeps the saber, which is interesting. Again, it's hers, but it's his at the same time. So it's like it's yours now. I gave it to you, and she's like, fine, but like okay, you have the Force, cool, but I don't. she's still very stubborn. And yeah, we have a quick fight, and then after that, the Shin shows up, and the night troopers, show up, and surround them. Then Ezra's like, wait, you could not do that.
Yeah. We
You
could
take
just
us
talk.
Like that right there felt so like Ezra.
Yeah.
And young Ezra.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Jabba the Hutt.
Wait, I'm not Ezra. I'm Jabba. There was a joke. I saw a joke where it was like, I can't believe Dave Filoni doesn't know the canon. Jabba died years ago. What's he doing in this show?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Ahsoka is still being chased by the ships, but she decides to jump out of her ship while Hu Yang flies off to distract them. And it's like, remember what happened last time? Yes, I do, and I'm very sorry about that. No, you're not. So I guess you just didn't calculate the jump last time. And Ahsoka jumps out and lands right where Balon is.
Yep, and they fight.
Oh. Before that, Ahsoka was training with an old video of Anakin.
Yeah, I figured we'd get back to that at the end, but yeah. She said Anakin recorded 20 trainings for her, and she still does them.
Yep. Part of me feels like this is the first time she's actually like looked at these videos in a long time to kind of get a reminder of the basics, but also see Anakin again. Because I feel like she's probably ignored them until now.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was nice seeing more Anakin again, and feel like Clone Wars Anakin training Ahsoka, and it's like, you need to practice these a lot of the time, more than I do.
Yeah.
We even get him mentioning like Ventress, Grievous, Count Dooku, all these other.
It's like all these names are being dropped.
Hey, Winston. What are you?
I don't know. I like Winston. Only you would notice that. Okay, only you. And I feel like if she really did have one, they would have covered it up with makeup.
No, it's from the night before with her and Ezra.
I mean, maybe they threw that in there. They got a little busy.
Either that or one of the turtles, one of the turtle crabs. What else?
From all.
Nah, but yeah, So we kind of, which was reminded of that because Ahsoka's starting to use her backwards saber style again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to take notice of that. And was like, there you go. There she is. She's getting back into the hang of that style. And we see her kind of bring that back when she fights Balon again. She's kind of going back to her old style, and she feels more in tuned with the fight. And it feels like Balon, like she kept Balon on the back foot this time, keeping up close, keeping him off balance. That's what gave her the advantage versus last time where she was overpowered by him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight for her was just to distract him until she could escape and rescue Sabine and Ezra. Which leaves Balon to go deal with his thing, which, again, they're going to have to go deal with later, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Ahsoka comes in and rescues Sabine and Ezra just in time, and we get a quick fight with all the troopers and these three.
Mm-hmm.
And we see, Shin's struggling. I mean, she's still good, but she's just no match against these two expert Force users or something.
Who, Ahsoka or Sabine?
Shin. Well,
Shin.
The only person I think Shin has a chance against is Sabine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ezra was didn't even have a saber and was blocking Shin, and Ahsoka didn't even use her sabers against Shin. Which, again, it shows like Shin is outclassed here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, even though, it was one of those things where I feel like even though the Night Troopers didn't do much, they still felt intimidating, but they were fighting three main characters, so they weren't gonna really win this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it feels like, and we come back to Thrawn, and he's like, I guess he didn't account for Balon bailing out. That's like the one thing he wasn't prepared for. So he was like, well, I mean, the job's done, so these were distracted, and now it's time for them all to come back so we can leave because Ahsoka can't catch up in time.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, I'm guessing, Hu Yang ships out of gas or something? Curious. But I guess, again, like, Balon, they're split. And that's another thing I was thinking about. It's kind of like this whole time Ahsoka's been, she's been talking about, like, the doing the right thing or something, or what's for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the bigger threat? And now it's going to be like they're going to be probably torn between Thrawn or Balon. Like, do they go after him or him? And that's going to be the choice that's going to decide their fate at the end of this show.
I'll bet you that they don't realize that Balon is potentially a threat yet. Like, they're so focused on Thrawn.
Yeah.
I don't think Ahsoka necessarily realizes that Balon's there for another purpose.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm very... I'm very curious. Because again, like, what is it? What is it, Balon? What is your deal?
Whatever it is, I guess it's going to be a surprise. And again, it could be one of those things that it's going to lead way into other shows, other movies, books. Like, it could just be leading to a whole series of things focusing on this new villain, whatever it might be.
Maybe this is how we get a connection with Skeleton Crew whenever that comes out.
That's true.
Isn't Skeleton Crew have Ahsoka's old boyfriend or something? Like that one Mandalorian guy.
I think MXC. I think you were the one who speculated that. You thought one of them looked like him or something.
I thought that said that one of the characters' name was similar. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just remembering old news because we know so little.
Yeah.
But Ahsoka. Once Shin realizes, she can't win this, she runs and she heads back to Thrawn. And Ahsoka and Ezra have reunited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a very nice moment.
Yeah.
And then and the episode ends, and that's kind of where I feel like, okay, yay, you reunited, but Thrawn's escaping. We kind of need a little more urgency here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the reunion. It was very nice, but there's a. That's kind of why I felt like this didn't feel like a cliffhanger to the finale. This felt like just another episode, and then because it's one of those, we've reunited. Now the next episode would be the enjoying the reunion, but we're not going to get to do that because we have to deal with Thrawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling no matter what happens, he's going to make it to, the Star Wars galaxy that we know, and then that's going to be
I feel like Thrawn's going to escape. And yeah, it's one of those where I can't predict. That's the thing. I can predict Thrawn, but I can't predict Ahsoka's side of things. Like, what's going to happen to these characters? Which I like. I'm just very curious. It's just very different sort of thing. Where sometimes in a finale or something, or in a show, you can kind of see what to expect to happen. This is one of those times where I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, that was part 7, and yeah, really fun and interesting and very action packed, and very curious what the finale is going to be like.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll give us like a long one, like a hour and a half.
Yeah,
or, watch our luck. It's going to be like, just a quick 30-minute.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, it's like, you're supposed to watch this with the episode before, so it all is like, or you're not supposed to watch this as all one series. So, we don't, we used all our budget. It's one of those things where I feel like that's why we can't have Leia. We can't use our budget yet.
Yeah. Baylan is there to rescue Tech. Yes. I mean, I would hope he's rescued by now, but
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago.
Oh God, my poor boy.
But and that's the other. Baylan has been so good. I really actually do want to see more of him.
I know.
I mean, even if even if it's with a different actor, like, I'm really interested in this character. I think we talked about like Tales of the Jedi. Maybe we could get like a Tales of the Jedi prequel with him or something.
Maybe. Like more of his backstory. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Because again, like he seems to know Anakin, even though he was never mentioned by Anakin. So I would like to see how that. If when they met or something, or how that meeting went or something.
Right.
And yeah, this is it. That's all.
Yeah.
Just ready for the finale now.
Yeah, it's been a good series so far.
It has been. I've actually really enjoyed this show, much more than I think I was ready to. It's definitely like, I think it's just, especially how, that's the one thing where I feel like I've seen like some people, this show, you definitely need Rebels and Clone Wars to enjoy it the most, like get the most of the experience out of it. But in a way, it is one of those shows where it's like you really shouldn't watch it by itself. Because you're not gonna get much out of it by itself, because you need that journey. This is a conclusion to a lot of things that have been in the past. So I really it's one of those things where I feel rewarded and feel enjoying this show for doing that, for being a continuation of what was before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really and I'm excited for what the finale does and how we end on, and if we get a season 2 of Ahsoka after this, or maybe like a different titled series or something. Like,
yeah, they could. I mean, they could do a lot of spin-offs with this. Like, we could get Sabine, or we could get Ezra, like Ezra the miniseries. You know, like
I kind of, yeah.
It could go off in a lot of different directions.
I kind of hope we get a show that, or at least we get a title that's not about a character. Can we get like a setting or something? Because most of the titles so far have been about characters. Like we've had Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Kenobi,
Andor.
Boba Fett. We haven't had like, you know, Clone Wars, Rebels, New Republic. Like we haven't had like era titles that would, or Andor. We even had Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Every show so far has been a name.
Yeah.
The next show, Grogu. That show's gonna go on for 50 seasons.
Yeah, right.
Disney could do that. That's one of those things where it's not Mandalorian anymore. It's just Mandalorian season 50. It's Grogu's era. And by season 50, Grogu's finally in his 40s, and Yoda, he's 380 or something. Din has long passed, but
yeah.
Maybe Din's grandkids or some grand Mandalorian. Din and Bo-Katan clan Din Kryze. Maybe. And then Grogu's like starting a whole school with Sabine.
Yeah.
The whole Mandalorian Jedi school. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited for the rest. What is the next like Star Wars thing after this?
What's it called? Because with an A.
Oh, Acolyte.
Acolyte. I'm assuming that's next. Not that we have a date, but I'm assuming that's next.
That's like the most like talked about production and wrapping, I think, too. So I think Acolyte is next. I think it was like next year, but early next year. Like January or February or something. So yeah, that will be interesting. I'm curious about that. Even though I know nothing about it. It's one of those like I know nothing, but I'm curious about it. Except I think it's like the end of the High Republic or something is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like all I know. And Tales of the Jedi season 2, we're getting that at some point. Bad Batch season 3, that will be at some point. And maybe isn't like Disney's 23 sort of thing, D23, doesn't that like announce a bunch of Star Wars stuff, or is that already passed? Did we miss that already?
I don't even know when that is.
And we have Lando, maybe not. I don't know. I keep hearing Lando yes, Lando no. Actually, I think I heard Lando was a movie now again.
Yeah, that's what I had heard too.
Which I'm like, okay.
I'll take it as long as whatever it is.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take watch. Like if it's like a sequel to Solo, like we get Solo, and then the sequel is Lando.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like maybe they're realizing like shows are too much, so we'll just do a movie again.
Maybe, I don't know.
So we have the Lando movie, the Rey movie, the Filoni movie, and the Jedi origin movie. So we have 4 movies now on the horizon. So, yeah.
Well, that's all I got.
Yep, that's all I got too. So, next week.
Yep.
For hopefully half hour plus an hour.
Yes. Yep, next week is the finale, so we will be back next Wednesday. I had to think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Talking about the finale of Ahsoka.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and we will see you there in the next one.
Yep. Everybody have a great rest of the evening. Thanks for hanging out and chatting with us, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.